Joining us now for a conversation is actress Gouri Kishan. Ma'am, yesterday during a press meet of your recent film Others, you faced body shaming. One of the YouTubers who were present in the press conference, he was posing a question about your weight to a co-star. So can you explain to us what is the chronology of this event and what exactly happened?
Last week at a press meet, the question was to the actor that there's a sequence where you're picking her up since it's a romance. There's a romantic track as well, and how much does she weigh, like weight, and which was a very distasteful comment, and it just was laughed off by everybody at the press, and including whoever was with me, because nobody knew how to react, and that by the time I processed it, they had gone on to the next one. But I remember coming back and feeling very regretful for not having spoken up, because tomorrow he's going to do that again to another actress, which is really undeserving and extremely uncalled for. And as I was in an interview, candidly, when I was asked the same question, I told my actual reaction to it, which was the backlash that happened yesterday. He had seen this interview and he said it was almost like, oh, you're talking like about journalists in a bad light. I have 35 years of experience in the field, and it almost seemed like it gives him the power to say whatever it is and whatever he feels like, with no respect, with absolutely no regard and no relevance at all. How is my weight related to anything? Even if I was not a part of the industry, nobody is allowed to comment on your body. It is a personal choice. In fact, he went ahead to say you should lose some weight because you're a heroine. Isn't that pointing to an unrealistic beauty standard? I was under the impression, being a young actor myself, that things are changing. We are having the best performers in our industry who are unconventionally beautiful, but beautiful nevertheless. So who decides? And I play a doctor in my film Others, which is releasing today in theaters. And being a medical thriller, my character is extremely pivotal to the plot, but absolutely no question regarding that, or the preparation that I did for the role, or anything related to it. But he decides to comment on my body. That is so uncalled for, absolutely unsolicited, and it's ridiculous how I was gaslit into saying that I should be apologizing to them for being disrespectful. And I was made to believe that it's because I didn't speak the language. If you saw the video, I was speaking in fluent Tamil. Yeah. So this is all, they are making you look like the fool here. Like, this is extreme gaslighting, extreme manipulation, and it is an absolute form of bullying and harassment that I faced yesterday. And me speaking out was not just for myself, it is for women in general. Nobody should be having to tolerate this any longer.
Kudos to you for standing up the way that you did for yourself, and I really feel bad that nobody else in the location was ready to speak up against this explicit display of sexism and chauvinism. But my question is that during the entire conversation, I was looking at the conversation between you and the so-called YouTuber. So despite you calling out his insensitive question, he repeatedly keeps on telling that this is a very regular question. This is in fact an interesting question that we pose to many heroines, and that he's in fact demanding an apology from you for what was unfolding at that time. So how do you look at this mentality?
It is the conditioning, which I am not saying is as any defense. We all have a social responsibility to do self-work and denormalize these things. Like how maybe it was like, okay, it was normal to like 20 years ago, but if maybe somebody had spoken out at that time, this wouldn't be happening right now. But no blame on anybody or any women in the past who didn't speak out for whatever situation and for whatever patriarchy and the misogyny that we all face as women every day, every single day of our life, be it in any industry. The defense of it was a joke. It was supposed to be it's your perspective, like take a joke. They were reducing me, and it is so like with no regard and so unsolicited is the question. And he also said, I don't speak the language, you didn't probably understand. I have a brain of my own. I'm
You were
pretty.
in fact speaking in Tamil throughout the conversation.
I am somebody who usually, when I'm very angry, I tend to cry or stutter. But I think a force came over me, and I'm very grateful to God for giving me the strength that I was able to show up not just for myself but for women. And but having gone through those 10 to 12 minutes of an ordeal, I did reach a point. Why is nobody standing up for me? So am I doing something wrong? Am I overreacting? Am I being inappropriate? It all went through my mind. Only 3 to 4 hours after the incident, when the messages started flooding in, and the solidarity has been unanimous, it has been overwhelming, and that validated that what I did was right.
In that location, I think you were the only female there. You were the only female to be in that entire location. I don't think there was any female reporter also. So did you feel targeted, cornered, or because nobody else was speaking up for you? This YouTuber was posing question after question to you, and he was trying to gaslight you, as you rightly say, and nobody else there apart from yourself were trying to question his insensitive behavior. So do you think that silence is a bit disappointing in that location?
Absolutely. Women are more than capable of speaking for themselves. I think I proved that yesterday. And I'm not saying it like I'm a superwoman.
Yeah.
I think we all have it in us. It is just the deep conditioning that makes us think that we are so deeply manipulated from our childhood. And we are silenced. We are used to women. You don't be loud. Don't get angry. As if we have all these emotions are human. Being a woman or a man, we all here have these emotions. It's completely okay to be angry. But the silence, the lack of response from my team and the entire room of 50 to 60 men, being men alone. And then if you see the video there are times where I'm looking here and there, seeking for help or maybe somebody.
I even saw some men trying to calm you down instead of questioning the YouTuber.
Yeah, that was a point where why are you silencing me?
Yeah.
Because he's gaslighting me, saying the question was not to you. The question was to the actor or the director. But it's about me. How do I not react? Do we not have a voice? Am I supposed to just shut up and smile? And they think heroines are supposed to be coy, be disciplined, be shy, and is that what makes it attractive? No, we have a brain of our own, and if I'm finding it offensive, I'm going to tell you that. And he said, how can you call it stupid? Yeah. Because I'm telling you myself, it is a stupid question. Please don't call this journalism. I study journalism myself, and I have extreme regard for the profession. And in fact, I wanted to be a journalist, and acting happened to me. So it's always like, and then you in the name of journalism, he was a disgrace. The two people who were attacking me mainly yesterday was a disgrace to the entire community of journalism, because that is really not what you guys are doing is journalism. So the silence just goes on to prove that we can stand up for ourselves. We absolutely don't need anybody, but of course it would have made things a little easier because the question was to my director. He could have ended it with one line. He could have said, this is the reason I cast her, this and this, whatever the reason
was. He was remaining silent.
Yeah. So I did speak to them after, and they are all extremely apologetic, and being their first film, it was overwhelming for them. And the actor tweeted yesterday to Chinmay's tweet saying it was overwhelming and I didn't know and I froze. But having said that, it's not good enough. We all have a responsibility to. It's basic. It's human responsibility. We are all humankind, and we need to do that. You need to step up sometimes. I know it can be overwhelming. Even I froze in the last press meet, so I'm not carrying that grudge. But having said that, I hope this instills, even as co-actors, you should be a team. You should support each other. And yeah, you can't just play it safe all the time. But I have forgiven them. I'm not someone who carries a grudge. I'm not going to hate on you because that's not who I am. It's okay to give people a benefit of doubt if the apology is unconditional. So yeah, we're all learning. We're all figuring it out. It's okay.
As a journalist, as a female journalist, what I can say is that anybody who calls themselves a journalist and anybody who thinks that it is interesting, it is normal to question about the weight of an actress or an actor, be it anybody, they cannot call themselves a journalist at all. That is what I personally believe, and I'm really sorry for what you went through in that location, that, the 15 minutes of that trauma. I'm very sorry for what happened. I'm sorry you had to go through it. But meanwhile, I also want to pose a couple of questions about your film Others. So you said that you played the character of Dr. Madhumita in that role. Can you talk about that role and how you prepared for that role, and what are you expecting in terms of the response for the film?
Being a doctor was my mom's dream. She always said you'd make a good doctor. But when reality hits, when you're in 10th grade and you realize science is not calling. So I feel like I had a lot of respect for the profession. I loved going to hospitals just to see the body language of doctors. And after the press show, people did seem like, do you have a medical, are you in the field? Because it looked like because I really enjoyed performing it. I'm someone who's very critical of other films as well. So if you're playing a guitar and if you're not doing it properly, I'm going to judge you a bit, saying that was lazy. So I did the work. I tried my best to bring as much as conviction as possible to the role. And the Grand Pictures, our production house, Aditya Madhavan, we're launching him. He's an absolutely talented hero, and I think he's going to be an asset to the industry. Abhin Hariharan. So it was an absolutely, joyous experience, the entire working experience. This was just that one, and it was from the press. So it's a crime thriller. It's a medical crime thriller. So as like all thrillers, it's best experienced in theaters. It's hitting theaters today, November 7th, and I'm really excited because, as I said, it has some extremely important female characters, Anju Kurian, and a lot of other, Mala Parvati, and I love the fact that all women are profession oriented and they're career oriented. And personally as well, I have not played a character who is a specialist in something before. I've always played a girl next door, and that has its charm as well. But this was really nice. Like, I carried the plot forward. It feels good to have some agency, and it was such a pivotal character. So that is also why it annoyed me how they didn't find that relevant.
Not even one question was posed about your role or your preparation for the role, but this so-called YouTuber, he was very much interested in knowing your weight. That was the only thing he wanted to know.
Yeah, it's an unrealistic body standard, beauty standards that the society instills on the industry. And I play a doctor. Which doctor has to be a size 0? Yeah. And it is, if I'm playing a model, even now models, who gives them the right to question me, weight korenga? Who are you to tell me this? If a director is asking me, it's a requirement for the film, I would do it. I'm giving him that right or that space to have an opinion about it. You don't. So this is just to put people down, especially women. They think we're just here for the glitters, and we're just like the embellishment, and maybe you're not important enough for me to ask you anything about the film. And this was after he watched the film. It was a show for the press. We, as a production, we have spent so much money, we are trying to make a good film, and we want this film to reach the audience, and we're respecting the press. This is the 3rd press meet we're hosting, and we're not doing them a favor, neither are they doing us a favor. But this entitlement behavior of we are here for you, you better show us respect. Give respect and take respect. He did not give me respect yesterday, and he didn't deserve to be given that back, and that's why I gave him a fitting reply.
Final question, ma'am. We are in 2025 at the moment, and I think in recent times you've had some really good women-centric films, not only in the Tamil film industry but also all over India or worldwide. So do you think, as women are progressing in different fields, including the film industry, the mindsets of some people, they're being regressive and conservative, this is somewhere this is causing a concern for all of us?
It is, absolutely. When it was a shock for me, it was ridiculous to me that even in the 21st century, when everyone has a phone and everyone is so aware and progressive and woke on the outside, this still happens. And I think it's the deep conditioning of the society, that years long of patriarchy and misogyny and the objectification of women, which has been normalized, and somewhere the thing that the female race is lower, or it is that inferiority thing. So it really has to change. I'm not sure it's going to change overnight. I'm not saying from tomorrow no one's ever going to be body shamed. It will happen, but as women or as men, another thing I would like to mention is the number of men who have been in solidarity with me. I would like to say I'm not generalizing all men, I'm not generalizing all press. So it is very like reassuring when you see those kind of gestures from all sorts of places. So there is hope. Things are definitely changing. The fact that 20 years ago a heroine did not have the agency to speak up, but from whatever I have learnt and my upbringing has taught me, I knew I have the right to speak up. It's a comment on my body which was so unsolicited, and I did. So it is changing. Not sure there'll be a complete wipeout of those kind of people, but the fact that that person is never going, he's going to think twice before commenting. Yes, like so that, yeah. I know what I did was right. Although in those 10-12 minutes I was made to think maybe something's wrong with me. That's what happens when you're gaslighting each other and you're twisting everything. He even said I don't speak the language because I'm from Kerala. Am I not speaking in fluent Tamil? Am I an idiot? Like, so this is what they do. They're like, it's a joke, take a joke. So there you have to respect. You just stay in the boundary. If something is uncomfortable and someone has respect each other, if I'm even in spite of him constantly disrespecting me, I didn't want to stoop down to his level, and that's the reason I chose to be in the same composure. I could have asked him a lot of things, but there would be no difference between me and him. So I would like to say to all women, this shouldn't be tolerated, to anybody, not just women. Any comment on your body or it is your personal choice, not just your body, about anything that you do. You have your free will, you have all rights to choose yourself, and you don't need to justify, you don't need to sit quiet and smile it off and laugh it off. You can react, be respectful, do it in your way. This was my way, even if it is as micro as, can you repeat again? And they might not repeat it because it's embarrassing for them. It shows a lot about them more than it shows about us.
Again, appreciate the way you handled it, and we wish you all the very best for your film, others, and we wish you do a lot more great films in your career, and you keep going. Thank you for talking to us. That is actress Gouri Kishan. She makes it very clear that she is very happy with the way she stood up for herself yesterday, and she has not only stood up for herself, she has stood up for the entire women community, is what one can say. Let's wait and see how the film is being viewed by the audience, and what kind of reviews the film is getting in the coming days, and we wish her all the best for that. For the time being, Dharani with Manish for Times Network from Chennai.